Hi Management 7500 students, this is Steve Wagner, your professor, and this is a video to provide you highlights of the syllabus and schedule for our course. The syllabus and schedule are important documents that you should read very carefully at the beginning of the class and also refer back to throughout the class. So at the beginning of the syllabus, I've got my contact information. My office is in G275, but all of my classes are online this semester, so my office hours will also all be online on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Of course, you can email me at any time, and I will do my best to get back to you within 24 hours. And if you go in Blackboard under the instructor tab, I do have my cell phone number posted up there, and you can call me 7 days a week as long as you call after 9 a.m. or before 9 p.m. So as we go on in this, you'll see that, again, this is an online class. It's fully online. And so we won't be meeting. We won't really have a synchronous meeting of all the class members. There are videos. We will be meeting occasionally in your groups for your group project, but for the most part, this is an asynchronous class. The textbook we're using is Robbins and Judge from 2017. And yes, you do need this textbook. We are using case studies out of this, and it's very important that you get this textbook. Again, as we go on here, you'll see that since it is an online asynchronous class, that you'll be using Blackboard quite a bit for this, and of course you can access that through the Governor State portal. It's important that you also use your GSU email, because announcements that are sent out or emails that are sent out will be going to your GSU email. So it is critical that you use your GSU email account for this class. Now, if you like a different email service better, you can always have your GSU email forwarded to that other service. Just make sure you do that. There's other ways that we can communicate, of course. There is a course questions discussion board where you can post questions, especially those that might be a benefit for everybody to see. And we'll meet through the video teleconferencing software Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and that's where I'll be holding my office hours. And again, if you go to that instructors tab in Blackboard, you will see a link for getting into office hours. In this course, there are a number of different learning objectives. I'm not going to go over these extensively right here, but I do want to note that this course is designed to be consistent with these course learning objectives. And you'll also see in Blackboard that I have more specific module learning objectives. And I'll be referring to course learning objectives, CLOs, and module learning objectives, MLOs, throughout this course. And for each element of a learning activity or assignment, I will identify which of the learning objectives that activity or assignment is relevant to. So you know, why am I doing this? It all stems back to what our goals are for learning. Now, there'll be lots of different course activities. There will be videos and different websites. There'll be self-assessments and case studies. Hopefully those will all interest you, and please go through and do each and every activity, because it lays the foundation for you to do the assignments effectively. Under this evaluation header in the syllabus here, we've got the assignments that you'll be evaluated on. You'll see that there are a total of 1,000 course points in this. There's going to be in each module an open book quiz, and each of those is worth 10 points, and there's 10 modules, so that's worth 100 points. There are 2 exams in this class, one close to the midterm and one close to the final. Those are each worth 150 points. There will be a case study discussion, a discussion board in each module, and those are worth 20 points each. So with 10 modules, again, that'll be worth 200 points. There's also an experiencing OB assignment in each module. Those are also worth 20 points, and again, for a total of 200. And finally, there's a group project that is worth 200 points that we'll discuss more as we go on in this class. You see the fairly standard grading system here at GSU. As you may know, we switched to minuses and pluses a couple years back here at GSU, and so this shows you how many points you need to accumulate to achieve each of these grade levels. And I will have grades for assignment up in Blackboard. They will be communicated both in terms of course points, but also in terms of the percentage that you got correct. And it is always my goal to have feedback to you on your assignments within 1 week of the due date that they were submitted by. As we go on in the syllabus here, you'll see different descriptions for these assignments. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on these, but I do want you to take note of the rubrics. These show you how I will be grading the particular assignments in this class, and they should help you to have accurate expectations of what will be graded and how it will be graded. And so you should, before you submit an assignment, look at that rubric and evaluate yourself. And when you get feedback on the assignments, I will give you feedback not only in terms of the points, but in terms of these rubrics, and there'll also be written feedback. And so that's a great way, especially at the beginning of the semester, to figure out, what do I need to do a little differently to improve my grade? And so please take the time to look at that feedback and do the things that you need to improve with the feedback that you've been given. Okay, so you'll see these descriptions and rubrics for each of the different assignments. Take note that there are some common elements here. If we look under this experiencing OB assignment, you'll see this criteria for using evidence-based knowledge. And you'll also see that in many of the other assignments. And so I'm looking for you to use the theories and concepts and research that are in the textbook and to cite the particular page numbers that you're finding that information from. And so it's important that you demonstrate that you're using the assigned readings in your assignments. That's going to be something that you will be graded on, and you can see that in each of these rubrics. Again, make sure that you look at those rubrics carefully. There's one also for the group project. Now we'll be starting this group project in Module 2, and so there'll be more information about that then. There is information here in the syllabus if you want to get an overview of it, and of course the rubric is here also. As we go on here, there's information about different support for technology, and so if you have an issue with Blackboard, you can go to the Center for Online Learning and Scholarship, and you can get their help. Of course, if you have a problem with your network connection or with Word or something like that, you can always call the help desk also. Again, we're going to be interacting mostly through the internet, so it's important that we use the right conduct in interacting on the internet. And so here I've got some good rules of thumb for Netiquette that you should review and then use throughout the class. Now, I do want to make note that there are specific deadlines for each assignment, and if you submit work late, you should have a valid excuse for that. That would include a personal medical emergency or a medical emergency amongst your family or a death in the family. Now, if you happen to be absent-minded and just forget, you do have 3 days after a due date to submit an assignment, but there will be a penalty of 10% of that total points for that assignment each day it is late. And that starts right after that deadline. If you do have an extended absence, I will be asking that you use the Dean of the Students Office for faculty notification, and I have a link in the syllabus there if you need more information about that. I've also got information about a lot of different policies here. So here's the policy for the incomplete grade, and note this is consistent with GSU's policy for incompletes. There's also other tips in terms of building rapport with your instructor. So I look forward to talking with you and meeting with you. Even if it's online, please come to my office hours. Whenever you have a question, I want to be there to support and help you. So don't feel like because this is a completely online class that you shouldn't reach out to me. In fact, it's just the opposite. You should reach out to me, and I look forward to talking. You should understand when you need to drop the class, and you can find that information in the portal. If you have a disability that affects how you may perform in the class, you have to understand that that needs to be documented through the Access Services for Students with Disabilities office. And I've got that documented here, how you should contact them, both in terms of their email and their phone number. And what they'll do is work with you to determine what accommodations are needed, and then they will communicate with me about what those are. Title IX has to do with anti-discrimination and harassment and retaliation, and that is an important policy. If you have concerns about any of those issues throughout your experience at GSU, you should contact the Title IX officer, and I've got the contact information here. Of course, you need to be prepared for emergencies, and so there is a contact line if there is, for instance, a blizzard that might affect classes at GSU. It's great to be contacted through that to be aware that that emergency is going on. Of course, I expect you to be ethical and honest in completing all of your assignments, and so plagiarism will not be tolerated. I do use the anti-plagiarism tools in Blackboard, and so if you do submit something that has been plagiarized, I will be giving you feedback on that, and you will get a 0 on that assignment. If it happens multiple times, you may be referred to the Dean of Students office. Of course, we are still operating on COVID, and so the COVID policies are here. So I'll let you read over those. Of course, this has affected a lot of the well-being of people around campus, but we're always concerned with that. So if you need support, please contact the Office for Counseling and Wellness. As we go on here, I'm going to, instead of look at this outline, which gives you a rough outline of each module, I'd like us to look at our course schedule. Okay, and so if you go to the course schedule, which is in a separate document, you will see that it is very detailed. It almost looks like a checklist, and each item on here corresponds to an activity in Blackboard. And so you should be using this and referring to this, and you'll see that I will use the schedule extensively throughout this class. And so there is no question about when things are due. It is all posted in this schedule, and I would recommend that you print it out, or that you save it on your desktop, that you have it in a place that's very accessible so you can know exactly when things are due. And if you want to look ahead what's happening in the next module, you can look ahead. While the assignments and activities will not be released until the date's posted, you can always read ahead if you want to. And so please review this information. If you do have questions on the schedule or on the syllabus, please contact me. I look forward to talking with you. Have a great Module 1 and a great semester, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.